Hello, guys, and welcome back to Evolving Living Being. I am Jenny C, and I'm your host for this podcast. And this is going to be episode number 3, which is going to be about social media and its effects in our lives. And these are mainly negative, like how much social media actually impacts our lives and a lot of facts that you may not have known. So I'm going to be dividing these into little categories and then giving them sub points. But before we get on to the episode, make sure to subscribe because I would appreciate it so much to hit my goal of 10 subscribers. We are just 4 away. I believe we can do it pretty soon. And also check out my main channel, link in description. Now let's begin. Very strong off with the first very relatable category, which is addiction. Now, we're all addicted to social media. It doesn't matter how old you are, we are all addicted because it is just part of the design that social media has. I mean, social media platforms use algorithms and they use design features to keep us hooked as long as they can because the longer that we're on their page, on their app, the less time we spend on other apps, which are their competitors. And so, the longer that they keep us there, the more beneficial it is to them. I saw this quote from The Social Dilemma, which is a documentary on Netflix about this, and it said, if there is no product, then you are the product. And so, in terms of this, we become the product in social media. And so, all these apps are competing for our attention. So, the longer that they keep us there, the better. And that's why they use all of these algorithms to keep us hooked. And even psychologists study kind of how human behavior works so they can design it best to keep us addicted as long as possible because that's beneficial for them, that they get more out of us, which we are the product. So, it is really crazy to see that that's how they manage everything, but this really leads to like constant checking. If you're just sitting somewhere, you want to check your phone, you want to check your phone again because we're addicted to it. And it's because of the psychological impacts. We get this release of dopamine from receiving like likes and comments and notifications and a constant and instant gratification of knowing that there's so much content to consume instantly whenever you want it, wherever you want it. And that's what kind of messes up your dopamine levels, and that's why people say you need dopamine detox and all that stuff. Now, I don't want to go too into that because I'm not too informed about it, but I do know that this really messes you up and it creates a reward cycle, which is literally similar to gambling. I mean, we are starting habits like gambling on our phones, which we bring everywhere with us. And that is really concerning because if all these people, especially Gen Z and Gen Alpha, which are clearly more on their phones than Gen Z ever was, if we're getting used to this at such a young age, then I don't even want to know what's going to happen in the future because it's really a little too much. And so, since it's so similar to gambling, this habit is reinforced and it makes it really difficult to stop, which is what causes such addiction. And I can go across like all ages. Everyone has been addicted at some point. Another problem with social media is the sleep disruption that it brings, especially if you're using it right before bed. It actually messes your sleep patterns, which is insane to me because how in the world? And I didn't really find the specific scientific explanation, sorry, but I heard that it really does affect your sleep patterns and also the blue light at night, all that stuff. And just to thinking about social media in general doesn't help your sleep, it only becomes a detriment to it. So, not only are we getting impacted psychologically now, but we're also getting impacted physically because sleep is pretty much one of the most important parts of recovering our physical body as well as mental, but physical too. So not only does social media impact your mental being, but also your physical. So that's something to think about. Now we're going to go on to the next category, which is comparison. This is very, very common and it's unfortunately sad, unfortunately very real, and it's sad because we have all these young girls and young boys comparing themselves to these celebrities and influencers, and it's almost like you no longer feel fulfilled. Young boys and girls are comparing themselves and their lives to influencers and people who are only posting highlight reels. Because the truth is, when you're scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube Shorts or whatever type of short form content, you're seeing these people's life, but really it's an illusion of a perfect life because nobody has a perfect life. And so you're comparing your reality to somebody's false reality, to somebody's perfected fairy tale. And I'm not saying that those people haven't done that. I mean, yeah, maybe they're traveling, maybe they're doing this and that and that. But everybody has something that they're not going to share. Like, everybody has problems, and that's normal. That's part of life. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Nobody has a perfect life. And so we yet forget that sometimes, and we still compare like our regular life and our problems and the bad side of our life to people's perfection, because it's really just posting the best on social media. You're not going to get on social media and post the bad things. And I mean, some people do, but most people don't like to, and that's perfectly okay. You don't have to blame people for not wanting to post that, because there's many parts in your life that are personal and you are not forced to post that. You can post whatever you want, but you as the viewer have to be very mindful that what you're comparing your life to is not a real standard. It's not reality. You shouldn't be doing that to yourself. You're literally self-sabotaging, and it's not a good thing to do, because it only harms you in the end, and it just makes you feel unfulfilled. It makes you feel sad. And I mean, comparison is the thief of joy. That is such a true quote. So the more you compare, the less happy you're gonna be, because you're always gonna want more and more and more. And that comparison also kind of leads to self-esteem issues, because you're seeing all these lifestyles and all these ways of living that you want, and whether it be like body image or all those things that you feel are unachievable, clearly brings you more self-esteem issues. Now, that can also happen in real life, but in social media, it is a lot easier to pick up your phone and get bombarded by that feeling, especially like young people. I mean, I'm saying teenagers, we have been in this whole social media thing for a long time, but these little kids that are like Gen Alpha, they're just always on their phones, and that's even more concerning because they're so tiny. And before, social media wasn't as bad. It was more just like silly, like musically, it was just lip syncing and stuff. But now it's all beauty standard and this type of lifestyle and trends, and this is your sign to do this and that and that, and it just kind of drives you crazy, and there's too much to consume at the same time. So imagine little kids consuming that. They're gonna be messed up in the head by the time they're like 20 or something, because that's all they've ever known. It's their only way of viewing the world. So that's something to consider. I don't know, clearly maybe this is not the audience that I'm reaching, but it's impacting everyone. I mean, across the board of all ages. But I especially get more concerned for little kids, because if teenagers and adults are getting impacted by this negatively, then how can that affect a child's brain? Don't know. I don't know. Next category is time waster. This is probably the most relatable one for me, at least, because out of all the things on social media, I'm aware of everything here, but time waster is the one thing that I'm aware of and still can't fix when I'm on it. So you constantly waste so much time on social media. You reduce your productivity. You're not even achieving the complete like version of yourself that you could be, because you're spending so much on it scrolling, and you're detracting time from working on your work, your passion project, your studies, your homework, other productive activities. You could be starting a new hobby, you could be working out. You know how everyone says, I don't have time to work out. No, you do. You're just using it on the wrong things. And you're losing an opportunity here to be doing so many better things for yourself, scrolling. And that is the worst type of time waster that you could be stuck in, because be honest with yourself, the next time that you're scrolling, once you're done, think to yourself, or right now, what were the last few videos that I watched? Like, what did I actually watch? And maybe you're gonna try to memorize it now because I said that. But for the most part, you never remember. I actually, the other day, I was scrolling on YouTube Shorts, and I got tired of it, so I turned off my phone and I went to watch the Olympics with my parents. But I was on YouTube on the TV before putting on the Olympics, and I looked at my library, which shows you like what you just watched, and I saw all the shorts that I had watched, and I kid you not, I did not remember that. Like, I saw them and I was like, oh yeah, I watched that, but I didn't remember if I hadn't seen this. So I completely forgot about everything that I had watched, and I didn't realize I had watched like over 20, and it felt for me that I had watched only 5. So I had wasted so much time. And not only are you wasting time, this is a little subcategory that I didn't really put here, but let me just mention it. You're also messing with your memory, your brain, and your attention span, which are two very important things, and we're losing both of them with social media. Because TikToks are 15 seconds long, and most short form content is around that. Some TikToks can be longer, some are like a minute, so that's a little better. But most on the For You page are just 15 seconds, and most of the time you don't finish watching the TikTok. So you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and you're changing your mood constantly because, say, in a minute, say that you watch like all the way through 4 TikToks, and each of them are 15 seconds, so that makes a minute. In 1 minute, you just went through 4 different emotions. Say one of them was super cute, like a cute puppy, then one of them was super sad, one of them was some country you wanted to go to forever, and then one of them made you angry, and then another one made you jealous and happy and sad and annoyed, and all these. Imagine you just keep scrolling through the different moods. This is like playing Inside Out with the spinning wheel. Like, what is this? It's insane. I mean, you're going through so many different moods in such a short time. That cannot be good for our brains. And I know that's definitely proven that it's not, but just think about it logically outside of any scientific viewpoint. It's not good for us to be going through so many different types of emotions in such short time. That's gonna mess up with their brain. That messes up with everything. It's way too much. So that's the category for time waster, and also kind of a little insight into how it affects our brain, like the attention span and memory. It affects us really badly. Next, we have false reality. So false reality, I'm gonna be talking about echo chambers specifically. So when you like something so much, you get put into a niche. I mean, if you keep seeing a certain type of video and you keep liking and stuff, then the algorithm's going to bring it to you, bringing back to the first point of addiction where they have all the psychological, studies to make sure that the algorithm will find you what you like. And so, since you are now in your own little echo chamber, which is basically kind of a world of what you keep liking. The algorithm keeps bringing that content to you, and it aligns with your existing beliefs. And so that kind of only reinforces your biases, and that creates like a very skewed view of the world and makes you believe that what you see is the only thing that's real and anything else is not. But what you don't realize is that when you go into the world, that becomes a disaster because maybe Jimmy over here, some random person, saw completely different algorithm and they have a completely different bias and beliefs. And so when you guys are going to talk about the same topic, you have completely different perceptions of the world, which is fine because everyone is entitled to their own beliefs. Like, everyone is allowed to have their own beliefs. But what happens here is that you believe that that's the only thing that can be true. And you believe that anyone who thinks otherwise is crazy because that's the only thing you see. And so you believe that because you see so many people believing the same thing as you, that's the only thing that exists. But the truth is that you're only stuck in one path out of multiple paths. It reminds me of Dark Matter. I don't know if any of you watched it, but it's on Apple TV. And it's kind of like that. Like, there's a never ending passageway of doors. And every single one of those are different niches, and everyone is in a different one believing. They're echo chambers. Everyone believes what they see because that's the only thing that they can't see. Because they can't see the door behind them. They're not looking back, they're looking forward. And so, if everyone lives like that, we're gonna be a crazy society because we only believe what we're seeing. And we get very validated by the fact that people in our For You page and our algorithm are believing the same thing that we do. And so that just makes us feel better about our beliefs. And the worst part is if our beliefs are wrong, completely wrong, but we still are convinced that we're right because there's so many people supporting us. And that can lead to like major disaster. Some things can be dumb, maybe just an opinion about this and that. But some things can go really far as to like politics and all of that. So it is bad in that sense, but you just really need to be focused on thinking things through. Don't just get sucked into that portal. And I'm not saying you have to delete social media at all. That's not what I'm trying to get across here. I'm just trying to tell you that these are the things that social media can bring to you, and you have to know how to deal with them so you can stay mentally okay and sane. And for things like the echo chambers, you have to think things through. Don't just believe everything you see on the internet. I mean, that's clearly a quote we've always heard, but take it seriously because nowadays everything is crazy online. I mean, there's so much misinformation, which is another sub point here. It's just giving so much misinformation, fake news, and it just gives you a very bad perception of reality, and it gives you poor decision making because you're believing this and that and that and that and that. And so you just quickly go with the crowd, which is something you should never do. And it absolutely kind of destroys the uniform and order of society because everyone has social media. Pretty much everyone does. So if we're all stuck in this echo chamber misinformation rabbit hole, then how are we gonna get together and fix it? So the solution is for everyone individually to think things through and to do their research before they just go with the crowd and try to prove that what their little echo chamber shows is true. And then another thing with false reality is the idealized lifestyles that influencers and celebrities will try to make their lives look perfect. Now, like I mentioned earlier, some people just post highlight reels, which is perfectly fine. You're allowed to post the best parts of your life. But some people actually do their very, very, very best to make their lives seem perfect for the public eye. Like, that is their intention. They're trying to deceive you. It's not even oh, well, I just like posting good things. No, they just try to deceive you. And so, when it comes to seeing that, it can really make you go crazy because the truth is, they're completely lying sometimes. I have many examples that I'm obviously not going to name here, but many people who made it seem like they had this perfect attainable lifestyle and they did this and that and that and that. And the truth is that it was a lie, that they just kind of lied through it. They deceived people. And it's crazy to see that. So the truth is, again, remember, never compare yourself. Never compare yourself to anyone in real life, especially on social media too. Then we have living for validation. So external validation is very bad. I think it's causing something a little too, I almost see it as ridiculous because we want to be validated by these people, by random people online. And I personally have never been too concerned with likes or comments. I mean, I've had Musical.ly forever since I was really young. Sorry. I've had Musical.ly and I never really thought about likes that much. I mean, when I got a lot, it was super exciting because I was like, wow, people like my video and stuff. But I never really concerned myself too much with it. I was just concerned with having fun and making content that I liked. You always have to worry about making the right type of content, what aligns with you, and the rest will follow. But if you're worrying about likes and comments, you're never going to be satisfied because you're just looking for more validation and more validation. And that kind of almost brings you insecurity when you don't get that validation because you just want like those people to bring you what you don't have with yourself. You don't have validation and self-respect for yourself, so you're seeking it out with random people online. And the truth is that I've seen it a lot, especially on the teamwork trend now that's going viral on TikTok, which to be honest, I think that is not the best trend to be following if you want to grow. Maybe I'll make a separate episode on that. I don't know for sure. But people are you putting on their captions like me when I get 12 likes. It's like so sad. Like 12 people liked your video. It's causing a want for instant gratification and instant validation and losing gratitude over small things. I mean, to me, I'd still get excited over 12 likes. Like 12 likes is good. Like guys, come on. You don't have to throw everything down the trash, you know what I mean? You don't have to, what's a word? I'm looking for it. You don't have to be non appreciative, I guess. The point is, okay, fine, maybe you wanted 100 likes, but that shouldn't be your main goal. That shouldn't be your only source of validation. So that's something to think about because some people definitely take it a little too seriously. And we have content creation pressure. I mean, I think this is especially for those content creators that are trying to stay in the game. And so, social media constantly moves around. There's always new trends and stuff. And so it's really hard to keep up sometimes. And it can be mentally exhausting. And also recording all the time to be able to post content that can kind of remove from real life experiences because you're recording so much that you're losing your presence in the moment. And one more thing about external validation, which I completely forgot, posting for others to see. I saw this comment section on TikTok once, very ironic, I know, but it was a very self-aware comment section because the people were saying, "Oh, I'm addicted to social media, and I wish I wasn't, but I often feel like I," and this is a comment, not me, but they said this, which is pretty relatable too. "I often feel that when I'm doing something fun, example, concert or something, I'm there, I no longer feel like I'm present there. I no longer feel like I'm having fun. I can just only think about how excited I am to go home and post about it so my friends will see what I was doing. So everyone will see how cool what I was doing is." And then often I see a lot of people like close to me when they post something on their story, instead of posting it and then leaving their phone, they keep checking. Because now Instagram added the likes thing, that drives people crazy. That makes them go crazy for that. Because they'll constantly be checking who's watching my story, who liked it. And then if somebody didn't like it, they'd be like, why didn't they like it? They're thinking too much about this. You shouldn't, I mean, the human wasn't created to be thinking about if Patricia liked your story. Nobody cares if Patricia liked your story. You should be living your life, not thinking about who liked this and who liked that. Because who cares if she liked it? Because if she liked it, like who cares if she touched a little red button with the heart shape? That doesn't mean anything. It shouldn't mean anything. In the end of the day, like what matters is that you're happy with your life, but you're seeking external validation, and it's ridiculous. So it's way too much. I don't I don't even know. I know I went on a real rampage about that. And yeah, it's fine. Like, you can like your friend's stories. I'm not saying that you don't have to like it, but people take it way too seriously. Like, who cares? Who cares if nobody liked your story? Did you like your story? Did you even like it? Or did you just post it so people would see that you're doing something? I mean, if you're gonna post something, make sure you like it. Because when I post things when I'm hanging out with my friends or pictures of the sky or something, I post it because I want to keep it in my highlights and I want to remember that forever. But I don't care if anyone sees it or likes it. Like, I didn't post it for that. Why would I care? And I had a private account once, which literally only my parents followed because we're like all super close. And so I was just like, okay, let me just make an account and my parents will follow it. And I posted all the time. And guess who were watching it? My mom and my dad. And I didn't care because my parents already knew what I was doing. I was posting because I wanted to keep that memory in my highlights. So you have to find a way to make sure that you're posting for yourself and your memories and not for validation because that's gonna mess up your brain and your head. Like, it's way too much. You shouldn't be concerned over these little dumb things like comments and shares. That's not. And also another thing, when people hide their like count, that's like, come on guys, where have we gone? How far have we gone as a society that we're so embarrassed by our posts not getting enough likes that we have to turn off the number? Like, is that really that bad? Like, it's, and I'm not here judging you and calling you out for it. Like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm saying that if it does happen to you, then you should reconsider, take a step back, and maybe even delete social media for some time to get your thoughts together because these concerns are not realistic. They're not okay to be concerned about something so much. So think about it a little bit. And then I have a final point here, which is superficial relationships. Some people, they grow like shallow relationships online on social media and stuff, and then that kind of impacts your real life social skills because you're so used to just commenting on a person's thing and thinking that you guys are like super close and stuff, when in reality you're not getting a real beneficial friendship or relationship, whatever, that you could be getting in real life. You're not getting those skills as much because you get used to online interaction and you don't get used to real life interaction. So that's also something to think about. And that is pretty much it for all my notes here. I'm not telling you that you need to delete social media. I'm telling you that you should do what you think is right for you, because at the end of the day, social media is not going to go away. And I'm not telling you that you have to delete it. You should just know these facts, be mindful about it, and do your best to accommodate. Maybe set a screen time, and maybe if that didn't work, then ask a friend or something or someone, sorry, to put a password for you that you won't know, that can definitely help you. Or just be disciplined, practice discipline. And again, discipline isn't ever too effective with this because of the addiction. Discipline usually overcomes all of this addiction because it's too much for us to handle. But do your best, do what works for you. If you want to delete it, maybe you don't have to delete it permanently for some time. I've never deleted it permanently. Currently, I don't have it right now. I sometimes join, I post, sometimes I don't. And yeah, at the end of the day, we're all gonna have to figure this out and just find a way for it to work because if anything, social media is only gonna get more advanced in the years to come. And also, something really quickly, I know that YouTube is often a very big discussion on whether social media or not. I believe it is social media, but a different type. I don't think it's really that detrimental because it's long form content. Now, with the new YouTube Shorts, that's a different story. But if you're not scrolling on YouTube Shorts, then regular YouTube isn't too harmful. But again, like if you're watching lifestyle content, then always remember to never compare your life to others. Like it's entertainment, it's fun, it's inspiring, but don't compare your life to anyone. That's probably the most important thing that you should take away from this video. And yeah, in general, I hope this helped you guys. Let me know in the comments your opinions on social media, whether you have it or not. I mean, what you think is going to happen in the future. And if you think YouTube is also social media, anything like that. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to subscribe. I would appreciate that to hit my 10 subscriber milestone. And also check out my channel in the description. And that is pretty much it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Jenny C signing out. Bye.